tonight. Hopefully I can summarize the two bills that I'm here to talk about today in representing CCM and the town of Harwinton in this particular program, Senate Bill 261 and House Bill 5106. You all have my testimony, so I will try not to read it to you, because I'm sure you all take the time to read it. So, but the Senate Bill 261 that I'd like to talk about first is an act concerning the overtime costs of resident state troopers. And basically, the resident trooper program is something that the town and about 60 other towns across the state put a lot of value in, and it's a partnership. It started off as a partnership between the state and the towns. And it has grown into pretty much the towns cover the costs, and the state has backed out from as a regional partner to some extent on some avenues of these bills. So we are in favor of Senate Bill 261 and House Bill 5106 because of the fact that it helps to create and maintain safer communities, and as the state considers ways of encouraging regionalization. This is basically a regional partnership with not only the communities but also with the state. And we would like the state to be a true regional partner in this particular program. And right now it's not. We get a notice in February, and as most of you know, our budgets are due July 1st. And we get a notice in February of what we think the costs of the program are going to be. There's no notification of any changes in the program. We get no prior notice or letting us know that the percentages have changed at all. And this happened in fiscal year 13, and currently in fiscal year 15, the percentage has moved up to almost 100% in the fringe benefit program. And what happens is we get the bill in September, end of August, beginning of September. And usually it averages right now anywhere between 5 to 8% more than what we were originally told it was going to cost us for this particular program. Now most towns are considering and starting to look at the feasibility to say, is it really worth being a partner with the state anymore in this program? And I would say yes. It's a valuable program. Our community enjoys having the resident troopers there and utilizing their services rather than creating our own constable program or partnering up with another community that has a police service and having them cover our community. The resident troopers typically know the area, they know the community, and they typically know most of the residents in the community. So they are a valued asset, and we're not asking that the program be dismembered. But unfortunately, the towns are going to be faced with a difficult decision if we don't have an equal partnership. Meaning that if Senate Bill 261 is not passed and House Bill 5106 is not passed, the costs are going to be heavily burdening the towns and the communities this year, in this fiscal year. We ask that on an annual basis that we're informed regularly and that we have real numbers to work with before we go ahead and pass our budgets.
Michael, if you could summarize, please.
I'm sorry. Just touch base real quick on House Bill 5106. State troopers right now, the current programs across the community, state troopers are, the town has no management authority pretty much over the state trooper program. And if we're going to be partners and we're going to bear the brunt of the cost of this program, then we want control of those troopers. Troopers are yanked out of towns regularly, and in my community alone, they're taken out of our community at least 3 to 4 times a week where we're forced to rely on a patrol trooper that may or may not be in the area. And in our particular area, they cover a large swath of property, which is from Route 8 all the way out to the Farmington Valley. And that's a big area. If he's out in Farmington and we have a problem in Harwinton, we have to wait for him to come all the way back or hope that there's another trooper in the area that can respond. The whole point of a resident trooper program is to have somebody here in town to help service our needs and be there for our residents. And if we're going to shoulder all the cost, then let us have control of the troopers. If not, be a regional partner with us and back down those costs. Because it is, we're 5,600 in our community. We're 9% unemployment. We have fixed income households. More than 50% of our residents are seniors. So we are very conscious of what our financial stability is in the community and what we have to work with. And to put this on the backs of them and the state being limited in what they can do, we're just asking you to be a better partner and support these two bills because they both support being a partner in a regional approach to policing our communities. Take questions.
Thank you very much. I have three-part question. If you can answer them, that's fine. If you can't.
Okay.
I'm not familiar. I don't have a resident trooper in my town. I think do we have one in Ellington? Okay. the universe of this program around the state? For example, how many towns have a resident trooper? How big is that, the number that we're talking about? So that's one question, is how many, how much? And the third one is, how do you define fringe benefits? If you can answer those, that would be great. If you can't, we can do this off.
Okay, no problem. Right now, from what I'm aware of, there's about 60 communities that share in the trooper program across the state. So it's a large number. The actual fringe benefits are not, they're not 100% defined. What you get is a sheet that just says fringe benefits. It includes the pension, it includes a lot of the extras, the overtime, all those kind of things that the towns are going to be responsible for going forward.
Is any of that a capital contribution, like the police officers, vehicles and?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Representative Fiegler.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and welcome today. I know we had this issue last year, and it's been one that really needs to have a discussion. And just to kind of feed in on the fringe benefit question, the fringe benefits are pretty extensive. I mean, it even includes uniforms. So it really, and even depreciation on their cars. So it really is pretty overbearing as far as the benefit program. What I wanted to ask you is that, did you say that in Harwinton you don't have constables, so you rely strictly on resident state troopers?
That's true. We used to have a constable program, and when the state came forward with this resident trooper program, it was more attractive to partner with the state and help share those costs. But now that the costs are almost neutral, we're looking at it again to possibly see, if we should be exploring the option of starting up a constable program and getting away from it.
Now, you also have a ag fair every year in Harwinton, so you're needing to use a lot of resident state troopers. Do you use state troopers as well?
Yes, we do.
So the cost for that has to be pretty, have large impact. Now, I'm not sure, did your fair run by the town or the Lions Club?
The fair is run by the Ag Commission, which is a separate 501c3 from the town. The town does defer some of the cost, help to defer some of the cost to the Ag, because Ag basically said last year, we're not going to have any troopers, we're going to pay security to stand out there with vests and flash people around. And on state highways and stuff, you can't do that. You need state troopers there.
No, I know the requirement is if it's on a state highway, you have to employ the resident state troopers. So it has to be a pretty sizable cost then to your town.
Close to 20,000 for our small town.
Okay. Thank you, because I know that this is a big concern, and I know that there'll be a lot of discussion on this subject again this year. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Further questions? Representative Durham.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Could you pass it by CCM sometime? And, because I can see this coming, where the state says any city or town that has 6, 8, 10,000, whatever limit they set, will have to, they'll be compelled to have their own police department instead of relying on state police. Pass that by CCM, because I can see this coming.
Sure.
With all the budgets the way they are, because we can still say that a resident state trooper costs too much money, and I'm not saying we do or don't. But they're gonna say, look, it's costing us 50, we're charging them 48, it's still costing us money. Any town over a certain population will have to have their own police department. I should see what their idea is. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Further questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next presenter is Representative Jay Case.